Hello, this is Victor again, and this is the follow-up video on my fuel distributor rebuilt after I mailed it out to Rebuild Systems in North Carolina, so they didn't do it correctly. This is the old diaphragm. This is my original one. They never replaced it. So here's the new diaphragm. Now, it's in the rebuilt kit. I replaced a couple of O-rings already. These are the O-rings that go over the metering unit, metering openings right there. Alright, so the original diaphragm, as you can see, it's stretched out. You can feel that material is actually less pliable. It's more like plasticky. It's still soft, more or less. I mean, don't get me wrong, but the replacement diaphragm, on the other hand, is, as you can see, it's like paper, very, very rubbery. So it's like flexes nice and easy. It's like nice. I mean, the feel of it is just totally different from the old diaphragm. As you can see, the old diaphragm, I'm moving it, it's like not folding, whereas the replacement one, as you can see, it's all like wavy and it's nice. So it's much softer. Whereas the original one, as you can see, just remains kind of like in one position. So definitely never been replaced. So the diaphragm itself, the manufacturer actually specification, well, the rebuild kit comes with small instructions saying that this diaphragm should be first rinsed with warm water or raw gasoline or something like that. So that's what I did. I washed it with warm water and soap. So it's nice. There's some sort of a protection layer on it that was left by the supplier. Now you can also see a couple of differences between the two. If you compare the two diaphragms, you're gonna notice that there are cutouts here, and this diaphragm does not have a cutout, original one. Cutouts basically correspond to these cutouts, so you cannot install it wrongly. This diaphragm is clean, and I'm going to just lay it over the fuel distributor because fuel distributors has been cleaned up as well. Just want to make sure that there's nothing on it. So basically, as you can see, the cutout pattern here on the diaphragm and on the throttle, on the fuel distributor, is the same. So this piece cannot be installed upside down because holes will perfectly line up. Now this is the infamous hole that he said he cut open, which was never done. It just broke when I removed it first time I looked in it. So this is the new diaphragm. You see how it outlines perfectly nice around the perimeter, and also it has little notches here where the cases has some recesses and whatnot. So this is a perfectly fine looking diaphragm, so that's what I'm going to use. The rest of the kit basically is no-brainer. It just comes with a couple of O-rings, few O-rings rather. The O-ring on the metering unit is brown, the other O-rings are all black. So there's one O-ring inside, as you can see there's black O-ring there, outer O-ring, and of course 8 O-rings around the metering unit, 1 O-ring under the metering, the plunger casing, kind of like a guide or something. This one comes out, there is this kind of looking gasket. This is an old one. This is the one I replaced. It wasn't really that bad. Maybe he did replace this one. I can give him a credit for that maybe, but doesn't look like it. Also, O-rings that I have removed from this unit, maybe he replaced it, that previous guy who messed it up. The diameters are different from the one that came with the kit. This particular O-ring came from the metering unit. It's this the brown one. It's thinner because I had really hard time removing metering unit initially, so it was stuck in there for good. So this one was there. I think it's just a universal one he used. Well, the metering discs, I cleaned them all up right now, so as best as I could, because he put crazy glue on them, which is, I mean, it might dissolve after years, but I don't want no crazy glue in my fuel distributor. Metering ports, the screens, I cleaned them as good as I could. I didn't want to go crazy with them, but a bunch of stuff came out. Some pieces of crap just accumulated inside there, so I blew it both ways. I also had to use very fine sandpaper, like 1500 grit, to clean out this surface because it was gunked up. I don't know if it was from his crazy glue or not, but it seems like it is from years of accumulation around the diaphragm. So I had to clean that out. And the rest of the parts right now are soaking in here. These are the rubber, not the rubbers, I'm sorry, the springs that hold valve cups, those discs, valve discs. So there was some, you know, he put that crazy glue on it, so I wanted to soak them a little bit, try to clean them once again before I put this unit back together. And soon I hope to put it in the car and test it out. So it's not going to take me that long to put it back together. It doesn't seem to be a very complicated task, but it's going to be quite difficult to align the two. I already see that, because you have springs that will sit there, diaphragm springs that will sit on top. My approach here would be is to install the plunger first. Okay, put it in there first, and then flip it upside down, have all the springs lined up, and then once plunger and the top half of the distributor are joined together, you can just flip it over and lower it on springs, because springs will have to line up with all these recesses. That's the spring for metering disc. Metering disc is going to be basically covering this opening. Oh yeah, another thing what I did is I took that fine sandpaper and I cleaned up the seats very, very lightly, because I didn't want any leaks or anything like that, because, you know, there was a little bit of residue around these things, around seats. So if there is any kind of leak, then obviously the metering is not going to be correct. So that's what I also did. I did it all with my bare hands, no gloves. I didn't want to contaminate the unit with pieces of latex that would separate from the glove because of this thing. So, you know, I didn't want that. Other than that, soon to be done, and I'm going to make another update when the unit is put back together, or maybe when I join two halves together, see what happens. I'll try to combine videos together if I could, so it's one continuous video, and see what happens. I'm gonna pause this one and see if I can you know, restart recording when I'm assembling this unit back together. Alright, thanks for watching.